Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Trina.
Good morning.
Welcome. Today is Monday, and we're kicking off Global Wellness Day, which will be this Saturday, the 9th.
I can't believe it's already been a year since we were in Pasadena celebrating with our big hike last year.
Right? It's wonderful. And Belgin is just joining us now, so welcome, Belgin.
Hello.
Hi, Belgin.
Hi. I made it.
We're good. Belgin, you can turn your camera on. It's the top left. But oh, you got it.
There she is. Hello.
Hi.
Oh my God, Belgin, I don't know how you're doing. Did you even sleep last night?
2.5 hours.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. It's okay. I'll have time to sleep after the 13th.
Well, I know the last month you've really been pushing and working hard on Global Wellness Day. Times have pivoted and you really had to reinvent the whole platform. So we're going to talk about that. And it's Stephanie, if you want to introduce everybody.
I would love to.
It's good to see you, Stephanie. It's been some time.
I know. It's wonderful to see you. I can't wait to catch up.
Thank you.
All right. So this is a special edition of Project Positive Planet with Global Wellness Day. Our special guest is Belgin Aksoy, founder of Global Wellness Day. Also joining us is Trina Jefferson, who is the Global Director of Spa Development for Kirsten Florian International, and Kim Diorsi, who is our other host, and she is a spa operations and marketing expert. And Project Positive Planet is a collaboration of Well World TV, We Consulting, and Papilia. Hi, ladies. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, excited to jump in. Belgin, this will be the 9th Global Wellness Day?
True.
Okay.
I'm excited.
And tell us how this whole vision started, because I think you have such a beautiful story.
Yes, you want me to go through that?
I would love it.
Well, it was in 2012 when I first got the idea of Global Wellness Day. But if we back to where it all came from is in 2004 when I had health challenges. And I was isolated for my radioiodine therapy in a hospital room just for 9 days. But you know, when I look at it now, like it was only 9 days, but when I lived through it, those 9 days were long 9 days that felt like 9 years actually. So that period had taught me the importance of health, obviously, and the importance of our loved ones, and the importance of life itself. I completely changed the way I live. I did a detox, let's say, about the people that were around me, and also about what I was eating and the things that were a problem for me. And even though, later on I realized that that was maybe not the end of the world, the things that I was worrying for. So from 2004 till 2012 has been the period that I reinvented myself. And all my loved ones that saw this, that realized this change in me, kept on asking, what do you do when you look a lot better than before, and you're healthier than before and happier than before? And so I just started to share with them, a few things that I changed in my life. And then, they got influenced by what I was doing in a positive way. And by the year 2012, I had the feeling that this was just not enough, because the first and the second circle around me were getting the benefits of the change, of the awareness I got, but I had to reach to more people also because I kept on hearing this voice in my ear that was saying something like, which at the beginning I thought I was losing my mind or I was going crazy, because it's totally okay to talk to yourself. We do that sometimes, but this was not like me talking to myself. This was like a woman that I don't know, because it was the voice of a woman that I don't know that was talking to me continuously on my ear and whispering, you know, we made you sick and now we made you healthier than before. What are you going to do for the world? And I was like, that's a huge sentence for the world. Like, what can I do? You know, I'm just a simple woman in Turkey. What do I do for the world? And I just, you know, I tried not to hear that voice, but it kept on going to the point that really got frustrating. And so one day I decided to give an answer to it, and I said, let me think. So then I was in front of the computer just like now, and I turned Google on, and I wrote Global Wellness Day, because I was sure that a day dedicated to wellness existed in the world. I just wanted to know when Global Wellness Day was, so I could be a part of it. You know, that could be for me the way that I could maybe do something for the world on Global Wellness Day. And then I kept on searching, and I realized that there was no such day. It's like, this is crazy. It's not possible. You know, if there is nowhere in the world, there had to be a Global Wellness Day in the United States, because, you know, there are many days dedicated to many things that are actually not that important in the US, like the Cupcake Day and the Strawberry Day and Mushroom Day and etc. So a day dedicated to wellness, it had to be there. And not even the US, there wasn't a day. So from there, we decided I actually got my team together, and I said, you know, we should create a day then if it doesn't exist, and we can celebrate it in our hotel, and then maybe we can, you know, use our wellness and spa network, and maybe other people celebrate it too. So I remember the first Global Wellness Day in 2012 at Richmond, NUA. There were like 150 people, and most of them were, you know, family and friends that love me so much that did not want to leave me alone on a day that I was trying to put together. And they were like, you know, Belgin, I mean, come on. You know, this is a big loop that you're taking. It's so, like, to be honest, people did not believe that this dream could come true. But very nice, we're there. But then from, you know, as you know, from 2012 to 2020 now, actually, let's say 2019, last year, Global Wellness Day was celebrated in 150 countries in more than 7,500 different locations, and all with complementary activities reaching out to 350 million people in the world. So I'm like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's like something.
And I
that
think
you
we need it
of
now more than ever, with everything going on in the world. I think we need it now more than ever, this global day of wellness and peace, and the simple manifest that you have. And I know, Trina, you've been working on stuff over the weekend that we can kind of show everybody what we can do to help with that stress at home. Because right now, we can't go, some of us can't go to our gyms. We're stuck inside, and we're watching the TV and the news, and it's not very nice, and we're getting very emotional. So Trina, can we shift to you for a moment and kind of tell us what we can do at home, and then Belgin's going to tell us about 2020 and what she's done.
Absolutely. Thank you. That was beautiful, Belgin.
I love your shirt, by the way. And we're on the white side.
I was so happy I actually had this in my closet. I can't even tell you. So yes, thank you for sharing that. So, you know, spa in itself is it's such a gift, and it's such a unique, special place. And I think everybody typically goes to a spa for the feeling. It's the feeling. It's how you feel the minute you walk in, and how you feel when you leave the spa. And we work with a lot of beautiful spas, and something that we really teach them is the importance of addressing all of your senses. And so that is the part of spa that people may not even realize that they're experiencing, but it's this feeling that all of these senses end up creating. So if you really think about that, for us to, we put together some beautiful at-home wellness rituals that you can do that focus on immunity and sleep and mental wellness and self-care and self-love, and they're beautiful. But when creating that, I think it's also equally important to create your space. And so pay attention when you want to do spa at home. It is about all of your senses. So what is it that you see? Especially if you're creating a place to do pain therapy or immunity, what is it that you're seeing? So you want an area that's clean, not cluttered. You want soft textures. Are you seeing water? Are you seeing a candle? What are you smelling? The aromatherapy, like I have a mental clarity behind me today, and I always have aromatherapy going because it can literally shift your mood, your focus, how you're feeling. So the sense of smell is very important. Touch. So anything that you're touching, and it could be as simple as when you get into a bath, what does that feel like? Water is so healing, and it's healing and feeding your soul, and even down to your robe or what you're sitting on when you're doing a self massage. And then taste. So we should be adding, whatever it is, whether it's you want to rest or you want to build immunity. This is an amazing immunity water, which is just lemon and rosemary. And then what's the other?
Oh, you put rosemary in there, Trina?
Yeah, from my herb garden. Oh, and then what are we hearing? So the sense of sound. Oh my gosh, it is so powerful because of all the different waves, the alpha, beta, theta, delta waves. And so those in itself, I would invite people to actually Google those, because your alpha and beta should be playing in the day for you to focus. And then if you want to relax, then you want to go into more of your delta and your theta waves. But it's amazing what it does to the mind. But if you were to bring all of those senses together, that is true spa. And that's where you start to get the feeling of wellness and therapy, and then you can customize it. And the cool thing is you can customize it with things like aromatherapy and minerals, water, stimulation, heat, like the things that are very true and traditional to spa, and things from nature. And then one of the most important things today, right now, though, is because we are so connected, and there's so many things going on that can be pretty hard on us mentally and physically. But start your day with breath, and just, there's this saying that I think is so interesting. A lot of the biohackers will say, the two things we're not doing right now for our health is we're not breathing and we're not sleeping, which is really important, for wellness. So start with breath every single morning, and then get outside, because we do not get enough natural light. So if you start every single day with natural light and hopefully a little sunshine, it's gonna actually trigger your circadian rhythm and set you up for success all day long. It'll set you up for success for sleep. And so there's many things, but I think if you just put a focus on paying attention to your senses, and then you can add spa therapy into that space, because it's all
wonderful. Those are really good points that I want to take home, because I don't think everyone has that space at home. Now, Belgin, you're the Global Wellness Ambassador founder, but what does wellness mean to you? And what do you do for your wellness routine?
Oh, it means a lot of things to me. I can tell you what it does not mean, which is, I think, another way of looking at it, a good way of looking at it. It's definitely not a luxury, and it's the inherent right of every individual. This is what I've been repeating since 2012, because unfortunately, there has been and there is still the misconception of wellness that it is only for the elite and it's only for the people who can afford it, and it means going to a spa, and it means having a massage, and it means having a facial, which has got nothing to do with it.
So true.
According to the proper definition, it's obviously physical, mental, and spiritual balance, which I also don't agree with that one, because it's just not possible for us to be 24 hours in balance with those three. But it is a lifelong journey that we need to take, because there is going to be days that we're not going to feel spiritually in balance or physically in balance. And this does not mean that we are unwell at that moment or we are unhappy, but it just means that we are human beings with feelings. And this concept of we have to be happy all the time, and this misconception of the definition of wellness, those combined together, unfortunately, brings people to a completely wrong point, I think, because we have to remember that we are made out of our feelings, and it's completely okay to not to be well someday and then well the next day. And if we're unwell, it doesn't mean that, or if we're unhappy, it doesn't mean that we are in depression. It just means that we had a bad day, and the next day we can have a good day. So I think we should embrace all the feelings in life. And if we're sad, we need to be sad that day and live through it instead of pretending like we're happy. So, I mean, you asked me like how I define wellness, and I'm jumping into happiness, but I think it's all related, all together, and all these misconceptions of these words give people the wrong message. And as the leaders in wellness and spa industry, we have to make sure that we explain it well. And so to me, wellness can be just, waking up in the morning and being in gratitude that I am awake one more day. And then, opening the window and looking up in the sky, taking a nice big breath and having another gratitude that I can actually do this. I lift my head up and I can see the sky. There are so many people that wake up in the morning and they can't see the sky because maybe they're locked up somewhere. So I do have my moment of gratitude every morning, and every morning I do exercise because I think starting the day early in the morning, getting rid of the toxins just makes a huge difference. And I think it sets the right mindset for the day. It also helps me to take my notes because while I'm doing my cardio, I think a lot, and then there are some moments that I think nothing, but I have my notepad next to me or my recorder, and I take my my notes for the day. And I've been feeding myself vegan for almost 3 years now. So then I have a very nice vegan breakfast, shower, and I'm ready for the day. So that's how I start the day. I can continue, but I don't want to take too much of your time. But before
we want to hear from you. We want to hear. So
you do want to hear?
Yes, of course we want to hear.
I just wanted to add, before I go to sleep, the bed and the sheets are really, really important for me. You know, it's like, I think it's the best thing to get into a bed with clean white sheets. That's like a must for me. With silk pillowcase, that's like, you know, talking about luxurious, like that's my luxury. I can have the simplest bag made out of, you know, I don't know, cloth or whatever. I wouldn't like go for big brands, but I want my silk pillowcase with what Trina has just been talking about in aromatherapy before going to sleep. I think it's the best. Again, setting up the atmosphere for going to sleep. And since I'm vegan, I started to have dreams that are so vibrant, and they're like 3-dimensional, and I just get so excited before I go to sleep, and I'm like, oh my god, like what am I going to dream about tonight? And it's like going to the movie theater, but like with your popcorn ready because you're going to be watching a movie. It's really, really exciting. So I enjoy my sleep when I can sleep, which in a week I will get back into my routine of good sleeping. I think it's very, very important.
I love the simplicity of all of those suggestions or things that you're all doing, because I think it's something anyone can do. A lot of people speak to wellness like it's this luxury, where really you can do any of these things to feel better.
And that's what your 7 manifests for Global Wellness Day are really hit home to me, and why I wanted to be an ambassador, because they're simple and they're what we should be doing anyways. You want to go over the 7 manifests?
Sure. Yeah. When we prepared those 7-step manifestos, like you said, Kim, we really wanted to make sure that it was simple and it was reachable to anyone in the world, from any age, gender, or I don't know, religion, race, ethnic, color, whatever. Anybody can do those 7 steps. Anyone from any socioeconomical level can do it as well, which is 1, walk for an hour. 2, drink more water. 3, don't use plastic bottles. 4, very simple. We kept it very simple. Eat healthy, because that subject can get complicated, but we actually do know what we should be eating and what we should not be eating. Do a good deed, which is one of, you know, the ones my favorite one. Have a family dinner, and sleep at 10.
And those are all doable, and they're all obtainable.
Exactly. But once you start doing those, and if you continue those 7 steps for a year, at the end of 1 year, you end up definitely taking maybe 70 more steps into your life, because, you know, you start drinking more water, and all of a sudden you're actually drinking less carbonated drinks and less coffee. Now you start walking for an hour every day, and you start losing weight, and because you're losing weight, what you put on fits better, and when you look in the mirror, you feel more confident with yourself, and you are maybe more successful at work, and, you know, you're more fun at home. So things just
I need to be more fun at
without
home.
realizing.
Yeah, I need to be more fun at home. My kids will tell you that. Now, Belgin, right now
you're
there's
a cool mom. I know that.
some days we've been all home way too long together. Everybody agrees in my family that I should be working out of the home 60 hours a week.
Kim, before we talk about next year, I wanted to ask Belgin, how did you grow Global Wellness Day in 2012 from 150 people to 150 countries? Can you talk a little bit about that?
That was actually in 2014 at the Global Wellness Summit. There was a competition, and the subject of the competition was preparing a videographic, a 1-minute videographic explaining the future of wellness. And if I'm not mistaken, there were 52 different countries that were competing, and as Turkey, we submitted the video of Global Wellness Day. And as you know, the summit is a 3-day summit, Global Wellness Summit, and that year was in Marrakesh. So actually, just before this summit, the celebration in 2013, there was an American media group that came to Richmond, NUA. And there, one of the journalists, Valerie Frankel, she did an interview with me, which got published on Huffington Post. And when Susie Ellis read that interview, she emailed me and she said, Belgin, this is very interesting, because the title of the interview was Why the World Needs a Wellness Day. And so she said, at the summit, would you like to chair one of the forums, co-chair one of the forums together with Sally Frankel, actually? And, you explain Global Wellness Day to the delegates. And I said, yes, of course, with pleasure. So the forum at the summit went very well. It got the attention of the delegates. And when you talk about Global Wellness Summit, you're talking about the decision makers in the wellness industry internationally. So, and also the fact that the video graphic that we prepared for Global Wellness Day was the winner out of the 52 countries. So wow. At that summit, it was like all the delegates learned about Global Wellness Day. And when I went up to get my trophy for the video graphic, with an idea that came to my mind suddenly, I said something like, we are the leaders in this room in the wellness and spa industry. And if we don't do something about it, who's going to do it? And we have to explain, we have to give the right message to the world. So I think we can do this with Global Wellness Day. And if you want to be the ambassador of your country, please contact me. And when I got down, and this was like actually maybe 2 hours before the end of the summit, there was like this closing remarks and then the champagne toast, and the 3-day summit was going to be over. So once everything was over, I was just trying to put my bag together, and I was just going to go up to my room, get my luggage, get on the plane and go back to Istanbul together with Hakan. And then I just felt, someone tapping on my shoulder and giving me a business card and saying, I would like to be the ambassador of the blah, blah country, and please send me the necessary information of what it means to be an ambassador. And I was like, oh, yes, of course, I'll do that. Which at that moment, I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to send. I have nothing ready. And I was like, okay, but one, and so it's okay. So then I got back to putting myself together again, and then it was one more, and then I turned my head at the end and I saw that there was a huge line, a long line of people with business cards in their hands saying, I want to be the ambassador for my country. And when I was at the plane together with Hakan, I had a deck of business cards, and I looked at them, they looked at me, I was like, what did I put myself into? What am I going to do now? Because,
the pressure's on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, since it was not a business, and it's still not a business, and it will never be, there was no business plan, marketing plan, team, or it was structure. There was nothing. It was just, this thing that I wanted to do, the message that I wanted to give to the world. Yeah. And then there, with 3 years of crazy traveling and working and networking and having some beautiful people around me that believed in what I wanted to do together now we call Global Wellness Day family, and we're over 100 people who work tirelessly on voluntary basis, of course. There is only one person that is working professionally for Global Wellness Day, which is Denise Ugel, who is the
She's phenomenal. Are you listening, Denise?
Great.
We love you.
She's great. And other than that, everybody's working voluntarily. And I think we're a great family. And it looks like there are more great things that we'll be doing in the future. I mean, what we were able to put together for this year in, let's say, we started end of March. And here we are. And we have an agenda that is...
You had to pivot really fast because some people already had stuff planned. So how did you take that and pivot? And
you know, most of the ambassadors were like, so we're canceling it, right? Like, you know, since we can't do it physically, then we're just skipping this year. And we couldn't have done that. You know, I hate cancellations because cancellations bring cancellations. We should all pay attention to that, because I don't know, like, you're going to go out for dinner with your friend and he or she cancels, and then another thing gets canceled. Like I have the feeling like it's a negative
letdown
energy. Yes. So I said, no, we're not canceling. We're just, you know, changing the way we celebrate, and we have to adapt to what the world is going through. And it was so fast, you know, the few Zoom calls that we had together with the ambassadors, and we decided all together to do, we knew that we were going to do online, but we didn't know that we were going to do a 24-hour live celebration, which I think came from Anna Cranford, ambassador of New Zealand. And when she said that, I was like, 24 hours? Actually, with the time difference, it's going to be more than 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ambassadors were like, at the Zoom call, they were like, yeah, we can do it. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Yes, we can do it. And yes,
there were so many ideas on those Zoom calls. You had a lot of ideas and a lot of passion. Yeah. And what it gave everybody, I think, is purpose. Exactly. You gave all those ambassadors so much purpose that they were able to put their energy into it, and that unsettling energy into a positive. So thank you so much.
No, thank you.
And Belgin, I just shared the link for people to register, because they still have 6 days to register, correct?
Yes, that would be wonderful. Registration obviously is for free. And we have some great names. I have the agenda here. If you would like, I can go through some names, because there are 63 presenters and performers.
Wow.
You might realize, Kim, that I think 5 or 6 days ago, it was 53 speakers.
Yes.
And now it's 63.
Wow.
We had to turn down so many people that wanted to be a part of this agenda, but unfortunately we had to close it at some point to make it possible that we can start sharing it. So obviously we're going to start from New Zealand, and we're going to end in US. There is Andrew Seeley. I'm sure you all know, celebrity yogi. He is great. Then Lance Bass, American singer. Then we have Cristina Ferrare, which she is going to do she's going to talk about food and what how food can be what's it called? Food for brain, food for thought.
Yeah.
Yes, how it affects our thinking. And Callum Bracken from Canada.
Stephanie, I just sent you the text with the schedule if you want to post that.
Okay.
Oh, you're doing that, Stephanie?
Oh, yes, keep going. I just have to step away.
Okay. Okay. And one thing that is very exciting is there's going to be wingsuit base jump. I don't know if you ladies are aware of this extreme sport. I
Yes.
love it. I love to watch it, obviously. Wingsuit base jump.
Don't try it at home.
Don't try it at home. Exactly. Yes. And it's going to be live. That is going to be so UTC, Coordinated Universal Time. What time is that going to be?
I know, Belgin. I know I have a hard time between Central Time, Mountain Time, and Eastern Time. How do you do all this time around the globe?
I have no idea. I didn't know what this UTC means until this agenda. Now I know that there's this thing called UTC, which is called Coordinated Universal Time. And according to that UTC, at 10 a.m., we're going to be able to watch the live wingsuit base jump, which is going to be performed especially for Global Wellness Day. In Cats Cambridge College, they're going to do a Q&A with the students about mental health in education. Dr. Ellen Bauman is going to have a conversation with Kim Marshall. Omri Caspi, who's a former NBA basketball player, is going to have a dialogue about motivation and performance with Global Wellness Day Ambassador of Israel, Amir Al-Roy. I'm just, telling you a few ones that hit my eye at the moment. But Metin Hara, who is, there's only 2 people that are Turkish in this, in between these 63 people. Metin Hara is going to talk about another, a better world is possible. He's a famous author and motivational speaker. So yeah, and then there is some surprises. So whatever you see on the agenda, Global Wednesday 7-Step Manifesto, which you're going to see it 7 times through the agenda, those are actually some surprise moments. Yeah, which I'm not going to tell about, but we're going to have some surprise names that are going to be talking about the 7-Step Manifesto.
That's a great idea. And I know that I'm speaking and we're doing a panel, and one is it on the future of wellness. So Belgin, where do you see wellness in 2 years?
I really would like to see the wellness, the Ministry of Wellness in countries, because Ministry of Health is not going to solve our problems. Unfortunately, we need Ministry of Wellness, and I've been saying this, I think the first time I said this was at least 8 years ago. So with the pandemic, we maybe, I'm not sure if we're going to see it in 2 years, but I think we're going to see it sooner than I thought, because now people are more aware that if we don't have our wellness, and I'm not saying health, because at this point, it's not about health. If we talk about the immune system, and our immune system is not only about what we eat and how much we exercise. There is definitely the mental and spiritual part of it. And once you get into that, then you're actually talking about wellness, because then, yes, you need that balance. And so I think more people in the world realize that that wellness is important, period. It's not something that only a few percentage of the people in the world think about or make it important just because they are the kind of people that take care of themselves, or they give so much importance to it. It's for everybody. It's for everybody. And if you don't have your wellness, we saw what happened to the world. Everything just stops. And we need more love. And when you talk about wellness, you're definitely talking about love. I wanted to think, before seeing all this that is happening in the US at the moment, unfortunately, I thought that we all realized the importance of love, and also realizing how we are all one and equal, and uh, the air that I breathe and the air that you breathe there, we're the same, and we're all one, and we have to get rid of all this uh, different thinking of, you're this color and you're that color, and it's not the thought for the year 2020. We can't be just uh, seeing what Elon Musk is doing, and we can't be seeing what a virus can do to the world, and then just a few days later having an incident like this. And I just, it was such a disappointment for me to see that. But I hope we understand, because maybe this virus is not going to kill us, but that is another kind of virus that has been going on for years, and it's time that it stops, and we realize that we are human beings, and that's it. And we have to love each other. Otherwise, if there's no love, there's no life.
And that's what mankind's all about. And I know you just talked about wellness, and we need more of it. In 2018, you did Initiative for Children, and we're starting to see more wellness in the schools and in the schools. So thank you for that hard work. And where do you see the future of wellness for children?
Well, I'm really happy to see that more and more countries are bringing wellness into schools, because we teach everything to kids, but we don't teach them how to breathe, how to love themselves, and how to eat, and why we eat. And if we don't start teaching these, we are not going to be able to bring the depression rates, obesity rates, and the crime rates down. My philosophy is that if we teach all the kids in the world how to breathe and how to control our anger and frustration only with one breath, we can make a huge difference in crime rates in the world. Because unfortunately, people just don't know how to deal with anger, and they end up taking a rock and throwing it to someone and ending up killing someone just like that, and ruining the life of that person, ruining and his life, ending up in jail, when the whole scene could be completely different if that person actually learned how to breathe and how to control through breath. But unfortunately, it's not taught. Yes, mathematics.
I know.
Science,
I have a
history,
12-year-old, and
all-
sometimes he has fits. And what I do is I hand him a meditation app on the phone. He takes it. He immediately shifts, sits on the couch, and calms himself for 10 minutes. But that is so important.
Simple as that. But if we start doing this, so like teaching this to kids in kindergarten, starting from age 3, it would be a whole different place. We don't need more, geniuses in the world. We just need more love, definitely.
And speaking of love, we all in this room have a love for Charlene Florian. And in 2016, you dedicated, you did a whole dedication to Charlene, a dear friend of ours, colleague in wellness. Do you want to tell us about the wellness forest that you dedicated to our loved one?
Yes, there is a Charlene Florian forest in Turkey with all these beautiful trees that are growing, and every year I ask for a photo from that location, and once the trees are big enough for me to be able to share that photo, I will with pleasure. The reason that we thought about honoring Charlene's life with the forest, because she just loved nature, and she loved green, and she she was always very protective about environment and, not using plastics and about water. And she was just a perfect person in every way. But talking about nature, I think that was one of her biggest passion. So I thought, more trees meant more love of Charlene growing.
And I still feel her love with us every day. So thank you for honoring her and that, and Kristen. Now, Stephanie, on the chat, we've got some questions. So Belgin, we have some questions on the chat. So we're going to go through some of the questions.
Okay. I don't see them, but if you can see them.
Yeah. Who is the ambassador for India, Belgium?
Reka.
Okay. And maybe Kim can add her email into the chat. We have a doctor that is interested from India.
Okay, I'll put my email in and they can contact me. We can go on there.
Perfect. And I guess if anybody's interested, Belgin, in being a key supporter or ambassador, who's the person to reach out to?
Denise. So Denise.Ucel, Yucel.
I can take that in.
globalwellnessday.org. That's her email address. And either for becoming an ambassador or a key supporter, if they can just send an email about themselves, a simple CV and how they are planning to support Global Wellness Day, what their input can be. And then we do the evaluation and we get back to them.
Should they wait till next Monday? Because I know she's very busy this week.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This is a good time to apply to become a key supporter or an ambassador. Or if they do send an email, we will ask for their patience because we won't be able to reply for ambassador and key supporter applications for the next, let's say, 2 weeks, because there's going to be the post event work that we need to do after the 13th.
Absolutely. And we also did a poll. Have you registered for Global Wellness Day 2020? And 53% of people said yes, and 46 said not yet. So I'm going to reshare the link to register.
Perfect.
And then Belgin, Diane said she believed in the importance of bed sheets in bedding, but also making the bed. And I think that's a very good point. You've got to make the bed to feel. I've got to make the bed to feel productive.
Oh, definitely. Yes. That's,
And Trina,
check.
Trina, I have a question for you. How is Kirsten Florian planning on celebrating this year?
I actually have a call with her either today or tomorrow, and I'm sure, her lifestyle, her daily life is all about wellness and celebrating exactly what Belgin is talking about. So that's pretty much her daily life. But I can see her, she's in Sweden right now, and she has a beautiful home in nature, and she loves to be on the water and go out and just collect beautiful, mushrooms. And anyway, so I can see her absolutely doing that and connecting with nature. And I do know that she loves Belgin and has appreciated so much of the dedication to Charlene, as we all have. And she'll practice gratitude absolutely that day.
And Trina will be representing Kirsten Flooring International as one of the guest speakers.
Yes, on immunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're looking forward.
Yeah, wellness rituals focusing on immunity that you can do at home. So I think you'll enjoy it.
And then we have a question from Donna. It said, Belgin, how about expanding Global Wellness Day by inviting suggestions for a second generation of elements to complement the Global Wellness Day 7-day manifest? Not more steps, but rather 7 mindful actions, commitments that would add depth in the 7-step manifest. Global Wellness Day would invite a community of enthusiasts in 150 countries at 8,000 different locations to participate with 50 word maximum suggestions for a goal of 7 mindful actions. Comments to be announced on January 1st, 2021.
I like that. That's a great idea. Why not? Yes, I'll take a note on that.
Okay, so Donna, you and I will follow up with after, and we'll get that information to Belgin and her team. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Dana.
I'm just reading all the notes, so bear with me. While I'm reading through the notes, Trina.
Yes.
Do you want to, you had a special section, you're going to give us some tips on sleeping and calming.
Absolutely. So, just circling back to that, creating your space. And I absolutely appreciate too what Belgin was saying, because my bed is my sanctuary. And I do feel, I'll never forget when I went and bought a mattress one time, just all the statistics on how much time you actually spend in your bed and the value of that. So I think it's very important to pay attention to, again, the textures and the aroma and everything that's in your space in your room. But making sure you start that day out in the morning with that connection to natural light. It's very important. And breathing the air, and having, some breathing exercises throughout the day, staying hydrated, eating healthy foods. Don't eat anything too heavy before you go to bed. 10 o'clock bedtime is absolutely a must, but creating that space of wellness and peace and happiness. And so making sure the colors and the textures are soothing and calming, and excuse me, it's a nice thing to do, to have rituals every single night. So going in and cleansing your skin and having positive affirmations that you're saying to yourself. And maybe you're going to, bathe in minerals and self-massage the body and wrap yourself in a cozy robe. That would be ideal, of course, every night. But it's really making sure you turn your devices off and don't take in too much caffeine after around 1 o'clock. And then these are honestly very, very useful in their blue light blocking glasses. And in the morning, we actually will get blue light from natural light, which is a good thing because it tells our brain to wake up. And but when you are using your devices or on your computers all day long, that blue light is just it's too much. And so I always wear blue light glasses every single day. So do my children. And it's just very important because it will help with that circadian rhythm. And so making sure that you shut your devices down at least 1 to 2 hours prior to, if you are going to watch a favorite show. I have my special blue light blocking glasses because they're big and I can lay down and they don't, so.
I need one of them.
Yes, I have so many pairs of these. It's just funny. But blue light blocking glasses, making sure that you disconnect at least 1 hour. And also going to bed at the same time. That's really important because keeping a ritual and because that has so much with your mindfulness and your brain activity. And then the other is, if you're having a hard time falling asleep, sipping on a nice tea, again, addressing all of those senses. And then your sound, your delta and your theta waves, turn those on because they actually sync with your own brain waves and actually, help for you to fall asleep and then to promote a restful sleep through the night. So just, if you have in mind all of your senses and just pay attention to them and have rituals, go to bed at the same time, wear your blue light glasses, get your morning morning daylight, and the art of breath. The art of breath can energize us. It can help us go to sleep. It can actually, another little tip is to do breath work prior to eating, because breath work in itself puts you in a parasympathetic state, and that's when you absorb nutrients. So if you go and you eat, this is a little off topic, sorry, but if you were to go and, but if you do this before at your nighttime meal, do your breath work prior to eating, because you're going to properly absorb the nutrients. If we're not in that parasympathetic state, we will not absorb as many nutrients. So that art of breath is beneficial for you throughout the day, but equally important at night.
All right. Thank you, Trina. Those were excellent. Very good tips. Now, Belgin, we've got a couple minutes left. I have 2 more questions for you. The globe has been tore to the core the last couple weeks and through the pandemic and with everything in lieu that's going on. We all need hope and help. How can wellness give us hope?
Wellness is all about hope. Remember, we prepared a video that was done by all Global Wellness Day ambassadors and key supporters, thanking the healthcare professionals. And we also prepared a video for the pandemic as well. And for those 2 videos, our slogan was, if there is hope, there is life. If there is life, there is hope. And when you do all these rituals that Trina is talking about, or if you do even 20% of those rituals, it's just not possible to end and start the day with hope. Because all these rituals are telling our, to our back of our brain is, I'm preparing myself for the next day and for the next day. And once we're preparing ourselves, without even realizing, with all these rituals for the next day, that means we have hope, because people get hopeless when they cannot think about tomorrow. But if we're preparing our mind and our body and our soul for the next day, and if we do it every day, it's just not possible to be hopeless when you practice your daily wellness. I think that's the simplest way I can put it too.
Well, Belgin, thank you for giving everybody hope with wellness. And one last question. Some of the highlights for me with being a global wellness ambassador is seeing some celebrities that have followed you. I remember last year when I was flying from Florida to California to do we did a global wellness day event in Florida and then in California. Kim Marshall picked me up and she was so excited because you called her about Oprah. And Oprah was one of the was celebrating with Gail Global Wellness Day. And then also we got Global Wellness got picked up by Meghan and Harry as one of the key support. So tell me a little bit about that and how that made you feel.
Oh, it was crazy. One of my friends, we were at the celebration of Global Wellness Day in south of Turkey, and I received a message, a link of Oprah's Instagram account, and she's like, I'm sure you've seen this, but I just couldn't help myself. I had to send it to you. And like, there's noise around and we're at the beach and doing the celebration. And I'm like, what is it? I have no idea. And I checked and it's Oprah and she's saying something, but it's so loud that I can't hear what she's saying. And so I'm like, why would she send this to me? And she knows how busy I am at the moment. Like, she's a close friend of mine. And so, but I said, first I thought I put my phone aside and then my mind was with it. And I'm like, she knows how busy I am. And she's like, I'm sure you've seen it. So there's something there. So I had to like go and look for headphones to be able to hear what Oprah was saying. And I heard that she was saying, hey, Gail, you know what day it is? It's Global Wellness Day. And I'm like, no. I'm not hearing well. It's just not possible. So like, I tell all these details, like, just to make you understand that, I was more shocked than anyone because people were like saying, oh, you knew, right? Like, you got in contact, you got in touch with Oprah. And I said, no, I did not. I think, which is the best part of it, like, without us reaching out to her, Oprah celebrating Global Wellness Day on her own together with Gayle King was phenomenal. I mean, I loved it. I had to listen to it like 5-6 times to convince myself that Oprah was actually saying Happy Global Wellness Day. And then I realized that she actually did post about it the day before Global Wellness Day, saying tomorrow is Global Wellness Day. And I totally missed that because I was so busy. And not only on Instagram, on all her social media accounts. And so we'll see. We'll see who's gonna jump onto wagon this year, and we'll see what.
I saw Julie Andrews. You had
Yes.
Julie Andrews, yeah.
Julie Andrews joined as a supporter of Global Wellness Day, which is amazing. I love getting surprises like that. That's actually I need to thank to Global Wellness Day Ambassador of UK, Paul Gerard. He was able to reach out to Julie Andrews. Yeah, so you never know what's going to come out of from my mailbox.
And is that your hat in the background? I see your hat. Is that your Global Wellness Day hat?
Oh, yes.
Put that on.
This is a beautiful.
So that was a gift. You were gifted that.
Yes, it's a gift. It says Global Wellness Day here, and then it says one day can change your whole life, and the whole thing.
I want one.
So cute.
Beautiful.
It's a little small, but
now, Stephanie, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
No, I'm so grateful you joined us today, and thanks for being a part of Project Positive Planet. I can't wait for Saturday and all the surprises and speakers, and encourage everyone to register.
Thank you, Stephanie, for giving us this platform. And Trina, do you have anything that you'd like to say? Do you have your sign?
Have my sign.
And we all say yes. Everyone in the comments.
Thank you.
I say yes.
I think we should add that we're going to be live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter Global Wellness Day accounts.
And there was a new one too, a Twitch.
No, not Twitch. No,
Okay.
Those 3. And Instagram, we're going to give the swipe up link because, as you know, Instagram can't be longer than an hour.
Okay.
Streams, but we're going to do the swipe up on Instagram, but live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube of Global Wellness Day accounts.
So it's going to be an exciting week, a hardworking week. Please take Trina's tips into suggestion. Take some 20-minute naps, drink your coffee, and then take a nap or your energy drink. Because I don't know if you know about Belgin, but she is texting 24/7. She's got ambassadors all around the world, and she's always very quick to respond and very good to them. So we appreciate all you do, and get some rest this week, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you all for joining us.
Everyone.
Thank you for inviting me. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.